Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. As always, it's been a while since we've done an interview style show, but I think no one better than to bring on Tim from Coffee and Crypto. You might know him from the Crypto Jeb channel if you're a viewer over there. Lots of folks watch over there as well from my channel. He's here today to talk about Cardano, another Cardano video. I'm sure some people will be stoked, other people will be pissed, but that's the way it goes. So Tim, thanks for being here, man.
Oh man, thanks so much for having me. This is awesome. I got to know you, Hashoshi, through Jeb, and so when you reached out to me, I was so excited to be able to come on your channel and get to talk. Except Cardano, some people like to give us a lot of flack for it, those of us who like it, but I really just love this project, and I love the charts too, even on the bearish days. I think long term it's just gonna be such a good project, but you know, the haters can say what they want, especially right now. They get to be loud with this new downtrend. They can say what they want. We'll see though in a couple years who's laughing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, throughout the years, right, we've seen Cardano in some of the darkest places, not being able to launch critical features, prices really down, and there have been some really positive times too. So there's a lot of history to pull back on. That being said, Tim, let's just talk overarchingly. I mean, there's a lot of discussion right now around the Ethereum merge, and of course, Ethereum moving to proof of stake, and a lot of proponents of Cardano and some of the other projects out there, like the Algorands of the world, say, hey, you know, we've had proof of stake for a long time. We've built towards this vision already. You know, what's your fundamental belief around Cardano over the next, you know, X number of months, maybe even years, in terms of what it could do in a renewed bull market if we ever get one?
Well, you know, that's a great question. I'm not necessarily a tech person, so I can't go into the depths of, you know, what the new tech they're bringing. Here's what I will say. It's really funny how, you know, a lot of people right now are kind of chirping about the negative side effect of this failed testnet that just happened. But in reality, when you dig into the information that's happening, it actually could be the argument for the bullish nature of what Cardano is going to do. Because I know, you know, Charles Hoskinson, he actually just released a live video today, you know, at the time of that we're recording this video, where he's kind of getting on to people like, listen, there's a lot of FUD out there, and people keep acting like, you know, these headlines are saying disastrous, or they're saying, what's the, you know, catastrophic. And it's like, it's not catastrophic. Like, we've actually had a lot of this working for a while now, but we're not going to launch it until all of the SBOs are ready. And that's the proof that this is actually decentralized. And catastrophic is strong because when you read that headline, you read that word, you're going to think, like the natural inclination to think, oh no, is Cardano about to die? And it's like, no. Just the Vasil Hard Fork, the upgrade that just happened. I can't remember the exact numbers, like 1.35.3 or I can't remember. That's, you know, that's semantics there. But what we're talking about is there's just one part of a big picture thing that needs to kind of be redone. It wasn't launched full-fledged. There weren't people that lost millions of dollars. This is the purpose of testnets, to catch little bugs like this. And so in all reality, the FUD articles make you think something terrible happened, but really, this is great news for Cardano. So the price is down, because people's feelings got hurt. But what goes down, if it's fundamentally strong, will go back up. And I can't think of a better project than Cardano to talk about a strong fundamental project. There was an interview done last night by a good friend of mine. I don't know if you got to work with him, but Dan from Crypto Capital Venture, he interviewed actually the source of that catastrophic headline, Adam Dean, where he was actually talking about, listen, I wanted to scare people because people were just acting like Cardano could do no wrong. In reality, we are Cardano, the Cardano community has gotten spoiled because everything is done so well all the time. We got to remember the developers are still human. They're not perfect. And this is just an example. Hey, Cardano needs to be tested just like everything else. Don't give a free pass. Test everything they say. Don't just take their word for it that it works well. Test it. And I think the Cardano community and the Cardano developers, they agree with that. Hey, don't just trust our word. Test it for yourself because we want to build a great product. So all of that, when I put that together, we're down right now. The price is in the red. But long term, over the next couple of months, I believe there's actually a lot of room for Cardano to pick up some ground, whereas Ethereum just had a massive, with that ETH merge you're talking about, they just had a massive upswing due to hype. And I know it's hype because we've been waiting for ETH2 for a while, but they just announced, hey guys, fundamentally, we're not really getting any better other than moving to proof of stake. The gas fees won't go down. The speed won't pick up. It's just hype that's driving Ethereum, and Ethereum's going to be good. But if that's what happens with Ethereum, imagine when Cardano finally gets this Vasil Hard Fork working. I believe that we could see a similar 130% increase just like Ethereum did. And if that was the case, that would take Cardano all the way up to at least 90 cents. But I think a lot of people actually think we're going to get a little closer, maybe back towards that $1.20 range.
It's really interesting stuff. I mean, you can bring up some of the really current events, the most current events, right? There's that, there's some of the kerfuffle around the test nets, right? People upgrading their clients, their node clients to a version that introduced some issues. And there was all this concern. And I think you may have noticed this trend, but a lot of crypto media outlets and publications will pick up even small hints of disorder in the Cardano space and really drive that home. But ultimately, I think this is a wake-up call for a lot of folks in the Cardano space to realize that formal verification and the low and slow type of model they take with building things is not a catch-all for all types of problems that can come up. And there's a lot of pressure on IOG, who I think most people know are like the core development team behind Cardano, to deliver things faster. And so the more that people push, the more likely you're going to start to see these types of things happen where things in testnet go wrong. So there's a lot of room to grow, I think, is the main point. In a bear market, this is the time to do it, rather than chasing during a bull market, which I think Cardano was kind of doing in some ways in the last bull market. So, Tim, you used to be called TA Tim. We were laughing about that before, right? So from a charts perspective, and this is not an area that I play in. I play in the tech and fundamental space, so I love bringing in other perspectives. What are you seeing right now in terms of what the charts say for Cardano and what that could mean for ADA?
Yeah. Let me share my screen here with you guys, and let's see here. Am I already sharing here? I don't know if it's
not
giving me...
yet.
I don't know if it's giving me an option. Oh, there we go. Right there. Boom. I don't know why my eyeballs missed that. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Yeah, so pulling up this Cardano chart, there's some interesting things happening. We were joking before also. At the time of making this video, guys, this is what Cardano is at right now. When I was making a video earlier, we were kind of hovering around this yellow box I have right here. And if you guys are wondering what this yellow box is, this is a Fibonacci retracement zone. If we were to go back to the low that Cardano had back here on the 13th of July, we use our Fibonacci tool, go to where we peaked out here just a couple of days ago, and this is what we call the golden pocket, the range between 0.618 and 0.65. This is a really strong zone that a lot of times after you've rallied or if you've fallen and you start to kind of reverse trend, a lot of times the price goes back to that level. It's not the only level. There's also 0.382 and 0.5 that are significant as well. But two of the ones that it's not common, it won't always happen, but it definitely can, is this first range at 0.236, and the next one is 0.786. And as we've broken through right now, the wicks broke right here. If I spread this out and kind of show you guys, there were two wicks that dropped below this golden pocket, but then we came back up thinking, hey, all right, is the golden pocket going to be a significant zone of support? Well, right now, this candle hasn't closed, so we'll see if this becomes a third wick. But at the moment, it's very much looking like this is some strength the bears have with this, increased volume that we have coming in. I don't know if you guys can see that through the Fibonacci. With that increased volume, I'm like, it's kind of an argument for the bears mounting some strength to continue this downside on the FUD article, as we were talking about here just a second ago. So the next level I'm really watching right here is about 43 cents. And there are some levels in between, but I think that right now, especially using Fibonacci, you're going to want to keep your eyes on that level. And there's a couple things in between. I'll show you guys the other things that I'm looking at. One of the tools that I absolutely love using, we love using this on our channel, is Luxalgo. And one of the reasons why, especially for those who like to trade, this tool, even if you don't really know technical analysis, if you just learn about this one tool, it'll give you things that you'll see sell, you'll see buy, you'll see strong, which is just another way of saying buy. And then if you learn how to read the color candles and the trend lines, you'll get some confirmation. Well, we're under a sell order here on the 4-hourly chart. We have what we call a red trend catcher, and then we have red candles. That's kind of the trifecta of, hey, if you see sell, red candles, and red trend catcher, you can probably enter a sell order and get some profit, right? And then what's really cool is this new update they have where they have a take profit level and a stop loss level. Well, right now on the 4-hourly chart, we're seeing the bare minimum take profit be at about 45 cents right here, but potentially we could go even as deep as 41 cents. Of course, that 43-cent level, higher 43-cent level is where we're, it's kind of right there in the middle. But Luxalgo is kind of even backing up. And again, one of my favorite indicators is backing up that concept of we might not be done with this little correction. On top of this, when I pull up the VRVP, which is just showing us the volume profile range and what's been happening there, you're going to see significant levels. We just surpassed at the top of that golden pocket. We just saw there come, we lost a significant level around 46 cents, and we're kind of now sloping back down to where potentially we could drop, what is that? Look at that, 43 cents. That's the last significant level of volume before it really starts to taper off. So, there's a couple different things calling for potentially us to continue to drop all the way down to that level. Again, we got the Fibonacci calling for it. We have Lux Algo saying that's a good level. Probably you could have some take profit on in a sell order. We also have the volume coming in kind of confirming that's a key level of strength, and if we lose, and that should stop us. If we lose that, it could get pretty ugly. There is one thing I'm seeing, though, that I do want to notice on the 4-hour chart that I think is a sign of strength, and people should keep their eyes on, and that's TD sequential. TD sequential is a great indicator, kind of showing when there's when strengths and trends are starting to run out of steam. And you don't have to stop on a 9, but a lot of times when you use TD sequential and you see a 9 flash, we call this a green 9 flash, even though it's red. We call it green because it means after we hit this, start watching for green candles. We just had a 9 flash on the last 4-hour candle, and so maybe potentially we see a couple more candles to the downside. You do see that happen quite often on TD sequential, but this is letting you know, hey guys, a level of support should be close. Well, in all reality, where we're currently sitting, that 43 cent level isn't really that far away. Yes, it would probably be, let me grab my range, there we go. It would be another 4% dip, almost 5% dip to get down that far. But in reality, when we're talking about the volatility of crypto, 4.5% is really not much of anything to shake your head at.
True.
That's just a normal Tuesday, That's not anything big. So I'm looking at all of this, and I have to continue to say right now, I'm expecting a continuation to the downside. But what I want people to realize about Cardano, and the reason why you should keep that hope, is first of all, as we talked about before, when you're just talking about news, the news is actually not as bad as you think. I just want everyone to make sure, do your research. Don't just even trust my word for it. That source that says catastrophically broken Vasil Hard Fork, go watch what he says about it. He is still very bullish on Cardano. He still believes Cardano is the best altcoin out there. I'll let you guys decide for yourself what you think on that. But all he is saying is if this had not been caught, it would have been catastrophic. But of course, that's not as catchy as a headline. The catchier headline is, let's just go ahead and say this was a catastrophic breakdown. That's just not the case. And what we're seeing here, as I talked about earlier, remember I talked about Ethereum having a lot of hype. I showed you guys, if you're looking over, let's go to the daily chart and look at a couple of these coins. Ethereum, it's having a little drop of its own right now, but it had a massive uptick after we had that news break that we were going to see ETH 2.0 finally come out after 4 years of waiting for it, right? And so, right, got the Fibonacci. I don't want that. I want the price increase. If you were to go all the way to the bottom that we had here and go to the top before we rejected, like I said, 130% increase, right? So let's just remember that on Ethereum, because of hype, because we saw some things finally developing, this is all, and I've said this in other videos on my channel, but this is all hype from retail investors. And the reason I know that is because if you were to go look at on-chain metrics on let's see, Glassnode. I think Glassnode. I'm not going to pull it up for you right here. I'm not necessarily an on-chain analyst, but I have lots of friends who are, and they're showing the charts. If you were to look at it back here on July 13th, Ethereum, if you're looking at weak hands versus strong hands, and the way they measure that is by length of how old wallets that have active amount of money in it or amount of supply in it. If you were to look at the on-chain metrics, Ethereum, more so than Cardano or Bitcoin, had less weak hands and more strong hands per percentage of holder than any other project. However, that announcement happened and we shot back up to those levels around 2000, right? The difference is, though, is that we went from having the most strong hands, least weak hands, to Ethereum hitting an all-time high of active wallets, despite the fact that the price only increased 130% up to 2000. What that means is that was almost all retail investors. That was not institutions. That was not whales. That was a hype movement. Hype movements happen all the time. They just get corrections in them. Well, guess what didn't get a hype movement yet? And it will once Vasil finally launches. It's Cardano. Only the problem with Cardano when we're looking at this is Cardano, since this bottom that we had, since we started a bullish trend, only went up about 47%. So let's just start right there. Let's just say it matches. I think it could outperform even what Ethereum did, because what they're doing is actually a big fundamental update, whereas Ethereum's just changing its platform. An 130% increase for Cardano would take us all the way up to, like I thing I talked about earlier, 92 cents. But a lot of analysts are actually looking at this, and they're talking about, like I said, that's just if it matches Ethereum. There's a good chance that it ends up outpacing it, returning back to these levels and double topping somewhere around $1.20. Keep your eyes fixed on that. There will be a cool off after that, because some of this will be fundamental updates, and some of this will be the community coming back in, getting really excited, pumping the price. Just like what goes down goes back up, what goes up will come back down, and it will kind of balance out. That's another reason why I'm super excited about Cardano, is because it has not had that hype train run the same way that Ethereum has. And I am going to watch for this. This is also what I'm looking for when I'm watching these three big coins. I'm watching Ethereum, Cardano, and Bitcoin. A lot of people almost consider them the top three of the crypto space. Not meaning top three in terms of market cap, but in terms of community outlook and who's watching the price and who's watching what develops. These are the big three coins that people are looking at. Cardano right now is in a bear trend. And what I mean by that is a secondary bear trend, because we all know we're in a bear market ever since, with Cardano, it's even back further. We're going all the way back to September of 2021. But it's been nothing but lower lows and lower highs this whole time for the primary trend. Whereas right now, we just exited this, but we were in a secondary bull trend where we were setting higher highs and higher lows. We just canceled that out, right? Same thing with Bitcoin. Bear market, but we were in a bull trend setting higher highs, higher lows. We just broke that on Bitcoin. Ethereum is the last one I'm looking at here, and it's working actively right now to go against what I'm saying. But Ethereum hasn't set lower lows just yet during the secondary trend. I think you're going to start seeing Bitcoin and Cardano outpace Ethereum. I think you're going to see Cardano get the same type of treatment that Ethereum had over here the last couple months, and that's what will spark those higher levels up towards at least $1, if not shooting higher towards $1.20. There's so much on the charts I could go even deeper in, but I feel like I'm getting my point across there with what my opinion is. Ultimately, I do want people to go look at the charts, look at the news, decide for themselves. But I'm just letting you know right now, Cardano, just like Ethereum was sitting in a great spot here a couple months ago with a little, very, very, very little weak hands and a lot of strong hands, Cardano's sitting in a very similar boat with there's really not that many weak hands left in the space. It's almost like there's nothing but up to go from here.
Really interesting stuff, Tim. And obviously, me not diving into the charts like this and using these tools very often, I think folks that are watching are probably thinking to themselves as well, hey, I got to go check that out. I have a question for you. If somebody's in the audience right now, they're sitting there like, okay, well, that was all really cool. I like the insights. I want to learn that stuff. I assume you probably have content about this, but where are the places that you would go to where you'd recommend folks go to learn that stuff?
That's a great point. You know, I'll kind of try to keep this brief, but just to kind of even let you guys know, if anyone was watching that and saying, wow, that sounds complicated, that's crazy. I didn't know any of this about a year and a half ago. I started working with Jeb a year and a half ago, and I had been invested in crypto. I'd been invested in Bitcoin at that time, but I didn't know a lot about charting. Well, Jeb had this course he called CT2A that we don't sell it anymore. I think technically it's still out there somewhere, but we don't really push it anymore. But I went through that course and learned from Jeb. And guys, I'm not this brilliant person. I think I have a good, brain. And I think I have some logical explanations, but I'm not, I didn't have this crazy high IQ or anything. I'm just a hard worker, and I dedicated myself to some videos. I listened to people who knew more than me. I've been wrong about so many things. I'm not afraid of being wrong. I get things wrong, and I learn from my failures. If you're willing to go through all that, literally anybody can learn it. And so over, our channel now, we changed it from Crypto Jeb to Coffee and Crypto, but we have a course we call Club DeFi, which is pretty much that CT2A course that Jeb made. We upgraded it. We did more in-depth content on it. We added some courses to it, and it is phenomenal. If you guys are looking for a resource to use, Club DeFi definitely is good. And what's really cool is we don't just have videos, although we've gotten a lot of feedback that the videos are phenomenal. Even more so, I 5 times a week, I go into we have a group, and I do what we call office hours, where just like I was able to sit with Jeb and ask questions about the chart and him give me immediate feedback, I sit there with you guys and I walk through charts and your questions and show you guys why things are good calls and why they're bad calls. And technical analysis isn't perfect. There's obviously some times where you make a call and it's the wrong thing. It just increases your probability of being correct. And so we've been having some great success with our students over there in Club DeFi, with a lot of people already commenting that the money they're spending on the course, they've already made it back within the first month of them actually buying the course. So it's super cool. There's a lot of other great resources out there. I don't want to make it sound like Club DeFi is the only one there. I just know from personal experience, it works. It is phenomenal. And even though I help teach it now, I was a student of it originally. And that's why I'm here with you guys today, because I went through that course.
it's a good case study, man, right?
Yeah.
The reason you're sitting here is because of this coursework. So yeah, I mean, needless to say, as we YouTubers do, links will be in the description over to the now rebranded Coffee and Crypto show. We're coffee family here. Crypto over coffee, coffee and crypto. There'll be more opportunities to hang out and talk about coffee and crypto, of course. Most of all, Tim, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on, talk about Cardano from a different lens than I would normally talk about it, getting the technical analysis as on the other side of the coin to the technology analysis that I often do. So I really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, man. I look forward to doing a lot of stuff with you. I know this is the first time I got to work with you, but Jeb never had nothing but raving reviews about working and doing some content with you. So I look forward to our relationship, our coffee channel relationship in the next couple of weeks and months and years, and we'll see how far we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Very kind of you to say. And most of all, folks, thank you so much for taking the time. Please do have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you for Crypto Over Coffee here on Saturday or the next weekend, depending on when you're watching this. And until next time, cheers.